This is where I share my thoughts on Bitcoin, crypto, macro, investing, early retirement, all that good stuff. Bitcoin with Dinny, I suppose, was set up, I call it the Bitcoin pension strategy, because I believe Bitcoin to be the ultimate pension strategy, and it outperforms all other pension strategies. And that's what I'm going to chat a little bit about today. If that sounds good, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe. Also, note, I am not a financial advisor, so don't take any of this as financial advice. So Trump is starting his new job there now on Monday, and the markets are reacting. Like, we crashed down to the 80s there literally last week, and now I think we're about $105 in dollars for the Bitcoin price. What I'd like people to do is, Bitcoin with Dinny is a channel for people who have jobs, careers, families, hobbies, and they want a simple way to be able to save for early retirement. So they don't have to learn everything about crypto. They don't have to join all the telegrams and get caught up in all the scams and the nonsense and the pump and dumps and hope to get lucky. They just want a simple strategy that they can spend a little bit of time studying and spend 5 minutes a month actioning, and it gets the job done. So that's who the Bitcoin with Dinny channel is for. Like, and I'm just going to context this before I go into my little spiel. In our Retire Early Club, which we've got almost 400 members at the moment, we do have people who, really get into the weeds on the crypto space, and they find the opportunities. And one of the members shared, 1000x that he just got on a project. But as well as that, the beauty is that you don't need to. I must do a survey, but I would guess that the majority of the people don't do any of that. They're not interested. They know it's high risk, and they just prefer the simple strategy that we give them. Okay, and that's the beauty of this thing, is that Bitcoin is for everybody, and that's why I'm passionate about trying to teach people about it. It's fun, it's deadly. I think it's going to fix the world. I think the money is broken. And that's a far bigger and more interesting thing than crypto on the next pump and dump, to be able to work on actually fixing global money. And that's what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin was predicted by Henry Ford over 100 years ago, or 100 years ago. Bitcoin was predicted by Milton Friedman before the internet was even invented. So it's really amazing to see it actually, coming true and playing out. But anyway, Trump is getting his new job Monday. The last 4 years, we've had a really hostile administration, okay? And that they were anti-crypto, anti-Bitcoin, the regulator and the administration. And we had what was called Operation Choke Point 2.0, which means all of the crypto companies were absolutely persecuted. And what that did was it siphoned, or it restricted innovation, okay, by cutting financial services off to all these companies. So it really stalled out the growth of Bitcoin. Now they're gone. The next administration that's coming in are all pro crypto. Okay. Now, in that hostile environment in the last 4 years, you will notice that the price of Bitcoin is much higher than it was 4 years ago. So despite the hostility of that administration, lo and behold, check it out, Bitcoin's price is much, much higher. One little case in point. Anyone who was in our Retire Early Club and we'd be having the chats will remember on our calls, we have a fortnightly call. If Retire Early Club sounds good to you, bitcoinwithdinny.com. Okay. Check it out. We do a live call every 2 weeks. You get my 6 courses on everything you need to know. You get access to our WhatsApp community, which has 6 different groups for different niches in the space. And you get loads of other stuff. It's for a year. But you'll notice that I said, if Bitcoin breaks a high in either 2024 or 2025, the risk is gone. Because Bitcoin has never been through a tightening cycle. So not only was it with a hostile administration, okay, and a regulator that were doing everything to slow down the growth and adoption and innovation of the space, okay, but it was also going through a quantitative tightening cycle, which means interest rates went up, money printing stopped, and they started sucking capital out of markets. So my thinking was, if Bitcoin manages to break a high here, like in all the other Bitcoin cycles, Bitcoin goes through 4-year cycles. Every 4 years, the price of Bitcoin is higher. Almost guaranteed. There's no guarantees in life, but almost guaranteed. When you understand the fundamentals of how it works, you're able to understand that. So, and if you like these videos, guys, make sure you hit the like button, pump the algorithm, try and spread this to more people who aren't interested in pump and dump and who just want to understand Bitcoin and a simple strategy, so that they can retire early. So I was thinking, when we were going through that cycle in 2022, I was like, if Bitcoin breaks it in 2024, if Bitcoin breaks all-time high, which was 69,000, and it did, I was like, bet the farm. Nothing can stop this thing. Because in all Bitcoin's other 4-year halving cycles, it was going through quantitative easing cycles, where there was loose money. Okay, money printer go burr. Which is what Bitcoin was designed for. It was designed to give people a vehicle to protect themselves from the central banks, who I don't think are our friends. Because every day we work for money, and the money has value, but every day the central banks print money, they devalue our money. So they devalue our work, so they stole our time. And that's just how the money system works. I didn't understand this for a lot of my life. Now I do. However, Bitcoin for most of its cycles was going through this loose money, right? Where money was printed. And it's called the Cantillon effect, where it's given to the people at the top, the banks and everyone get the loose free money. And by the time it filters down to you and me, it's already riddled with inflation and the cost of living has gone up. So we don't get the benefit. So the bigs get bigger and the smalls' wealth is transferred to the bigs. And that's what we can see. That's why the ratio of wages to own a home only stretches. You know, in my generation, it's more difficult than it was for my father, than it was for his father. And for a generation after me, it's going to be even more difficult than it was for my generation. And that's because of this Cantillon effect and because of how central banking works. Bitcoin is the solution. That's the beauty of it. That's why I have a lot of positivity for the future. That's why I love teaching people about it, whether old or young or in the middle. It's cool. So Bitcoin managed to make an all-time high despite the money printer being turned off. When all other financial assets were crashing, Bitcoin still made it. So it shows that it doesn't matter whether the money printer's turned on or the money printer's turned off. Nothing can stop this thing breaking an all-time high every 4 years. All right? And this is the trying to thinking that I'm trying to help my community, all my members or anyone who watches my stuff understand. Don't think small, okay? Think bigger. All right? Forget about the crypto pump and dump to get rich now, to get a 10x, the 2x, the 1x. All right? Unless you're going to, will make this your hobby, okay? Or your career. So you're going to spend all your time trying to do that, which most people aren't. Because 99% of people just lose money in that. We're in the bull market, so everyone's making money. But a bear market will come, and the money will be snatched from most people who don't know what they're doing. The people who aren't full-time in it. Okay? Or it's not their absolute hobby and they've no other hobbies. So I'm like, leave that to professionals. Okay? But this Bitcoin thing, if I could just make it a little pension like that Dinny lad says, and that means I accumulate it every month. And if in the history of this asset, every 4 years it's worth more, imagine I just saved in it and I just accumulated Bitcoin. So instead of saving money in the bank, like we were always taught to do, I took a percentage of that. Some people take all of it. Some people take 10%, whatever, it doesn't matter. More than 0%. I take a percentage of my savings and I just save it in Bitcoin. So every month I just own more Bitcoin. And you guys know from watching this that that's my strategy. That's as simple as it is. I have a Bitcoin pension strategy, and all that means is every month I own more Bitcoin than the previous month. The price of Bitcoin is irrelevant to me. I don't wait to see when I should buy it. I don't look at the charts. The only reason I look at the price is because I have to talk about Bitcoin. Other than that, I wouldn't care about it. But if I have money that I want to save for 4 years or 40 years, from what I can see, with places I can put my money, I can invest into property or I could burn down like California. All the safe property. People are like, oh, I wouldn't touch that Bitcoin thing. You can't touch it, feel it, hold it. Property is a safe investment. How'd that work out in California? Hundreds of millions, billions possibly, lost in a fire. Okay? Bitcoin's fireproof when you understand it, how to custody correctly. And of course, there's a journey for that. But if I have money that I want to save for 4 years or 40 years or 400 years, everything else goes up around 10% a year. Property does. Okay, investment assets, you get really good ones, they go 15% a year. Bitcoin's averaging 50%. And that was with a really hostile administration. Rotate now. We've got Trump coming in with all his cronies who are all pro-crypto. Basically, the crypto industry took over the administration. Because like, we're taking over, we want our way, we've got the money, we can get our way. That's how politics works. You can buy your way to some degree, I guess. Okay, so now we've got fully pro-crypto. So we're going to have pro-crypto regulation, pro-crypto administration. And if we made a massive all-time high, price of Bitcoin 4 years ago was a hell of a lot lower than it was today. And that was with all these headwinds trying to hold it back, cutting off the banking supply, harsh regulation, uncertainty for all the crypto companies, not even telling them what they could or couldn't do, just suing them for hundreds of millions. All right? And all that goes away. And now there's all innovation. And not only is there innovation for the next 4 years, okay, but there's a really strong possibility that Trump makes Bitcoin a reserve asset, okay? And there's also, louder than rumors, that the US are actually going to start accumulating Bitcoin. The same strategy that Bitcoin with Dinny does, the same strategy that possibly you guys do. You front run a nation state. Congratulations. You've front run Amazon. They're not doing it yet. You front run Apple. You figured it out before them. Congratulations if that's you. And if you're only trying to figure out Bitcoin, that's fine. Go to my website. If you're trying to figure out Bitcoin, put in your name in the box when you land on the website, bitcoinwithdinny.com, and get my letter. I wrote this letter to friends and family years ago to make it really simple just to explain Bitcoin. I think it's 8 pages. A lot of people email me, maybe you'll do it, and say, Dinny, that letter changed my life. I never understood Bitcoin so simply. It makes sense now because there's so much information, crypto, blah, 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 blah. It's just, you can't find the signal and all the noise. The little letter I wrote was just to try and make it simple for my friends and family to understand it. And yeah, I encourage you, if you don't yet understand Bitcoin, go and get that off my website, bitcoinwithdinny.com. So now we've got these massive tailwinds. Now we've got America talking about accumulating Bitcoin every single month. What the hell do you think is going to happen to the value of Bitcoin over the next 4 years? Any guesses? Any guesses? As Nadia would say. From Ashford Motors. I'll steal her catchphrase. So, any guesses on the price of Bitcoin in the next 4 years? I'll take a guess. And I'm pretty sure on this, it's going to be higher than today. So 4 years from now, you can fact check me on this, come back in 4 years, price of Bitcoin will be higher than today. Because it's always been like that. No guarantee it continues, but if you understand the fundamentals and the supply and the scarcity and how the supply-demand economics change every 4 years, you know how I can say that with confidence, that the price will be higher. Okay? And that's the beauty of it. So zoom out, all right? When you're trying to make a plan, we've guys in our Retire Early Club who are making a 100-year plan. So it's not only for their kids, it's for their kids' kids and their kids. And that's how you're able to sort out your life with Bitcoin, okay? Because you can actually make plans. And fair enough, you don't have money today to do it, but because you understand how it works, okay, you can forecast for the future and you can make multi-generational plans. And that's the beauty of this thing. And that's why Bitcoin changes people's lives. And if you've seen the messages in our Retire Early Club and how people change, it's just unbelievable. It totally changes people over time because it allows them to take away all the financial stress, all the financial uncertainty, all the financial worry, all the doomsday scenarios, okay? And just focus on hope and positivity, because that's exactly what Bitcoin is. And it seems to be an unstoppable force when you really understand it deeply. It's like, I don't know what can stop this thing. Like if the last 4 years couldn't stop it, and the 4 years before that couldn't stop it, nothing seems to stop this thing. It's like an animal that just grows ahead every time you cut it off, it grows 2 more. And that's because it's ultimate decentralization. It's impossible to stop. Really passionate about it. Really looking forward to the next 4 years. I'll try and get a bit of content out. I'm probably not going to do as much content as I used to, because I'm just quite busy serving all our Retire Early Club members now. We've got so many in it, and all my existing clients. But I will try and get some content out. But just I want you to zoom out, send this video to as many people as you can, put it in WhatsApp groups. Focus on not this year, not next month, on how you're going to get rich in crypto, because you're not. All right? But if you make a decade plan for yourself, you might just retire yourself. But you might also just retire your kids if you get it right. And you put the time in, you study, you buy all the books, you buy all the courses. That's what I done when I started in the space. That's why it didn't take me years and years to learn. because when I decided I was going to get into Bitcoin, I went and I found the most poignant or significant people in the space with the most experience, and I paid them a lot of money to sit down and speak to them and get them to dumb it all down and tell me where did people go wrong, explain this thing to me. And that's why I say invest in education is the best investment you can make. Focus on Bitcoin, focus on it for the next 10 years rather than the next 10 weeks, and you have the ability to really change your life. And if it doesn't take 10 years, happy days. But zoom out is what I tell you, because this thing is only at the beginning. All the upside and price appreciation, it's our greed thinks we missed out, and that's why we fall into crypto looking for the X's, the 2X's, the 10X's, blah, blah, blah. All right? You just use Bitcoin's volatility to retire early. You embrace the volatility. You learn to ride the waves. I'm a surfer. I love surfing. Waves are fun, okay? You got to learn to ride the waves, not fear the waves. Most people fear them, so they try and time it. And they're always on the wrong side of it. In surfing, we call that getting caught inside. So you're always caught inside. You don't have the patience to wait on the set of the day, the wave of the day. And you paddle in for the smaller waves, trying to nick one because you're seeing someone else getting one. And then the big clean-up set comes. You're sitting inside and wallop, you get the thing on the head. So you got to learn to embrace the waves, ride the volatility, focus on Bitcoin for long term. And the last thing you got to do is, if you haven't already, get your finger out. I call it the daily exercise. I'm outside the pool here. I'm going in for a swim and training at 12. Give the video a nice little like. Try and help the algorithm pump it out. And I'll talk to you soon, guys. Thanks for being here. Dinny out. Good to see you all.